How does the government steal from us? And also, why do we become complicit in the theft of our money? Now, in a legal sense, they say that governments do not steal when they collect taxes, impose fees, or regulate economic activity because those actions are authorized by law. So, the legal system that we have in place is not to serve us, but it is to actually serve thieves. Now, however people have argued it, governments can effectively take wealth, opportunity, or power from citizens in ways that feel like theft, even when those actions are illegal. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's first define what steal is. Take another person's property, that could be taxes, that could be Social Security, and without permission or legal right, without intending to return it. Do you believe that any money that was taken from Social Security or taxes will be returned to you by the government? Do you believe in the people that you have elected to be your representatives to walk out of that government poor? So where are they getting their money from? They can't get it all from the lobbyists. Why? I wonder why people start wars or go invade other people's property. And this is the thing that we have to understand. They keep us busy with foolishness back here in America, and they shoot these weapons off that cost sometimes $1 million per weapon. And then all of a sudden they tell you that they're doing so good and the war is fine, but they need more money. They need more billions. So where are they getting that money from? Of course, it's the fools. We give it to them over and over, believing everything that they say. Now, I heard something today that really shocked me. Nobody believed that Project 25 was, going to be in effect. I mean, our president told us that he didn't know nothing about it. In fact, he's told us so many lies that if he told the truth, he would probably pass out. Now, he is our president, your president, but he hasn't served a day in the military, and he has people around him that don't really respect the lives of your children, because their children are not going to go fight. And why is it a big fuss? See, I don't understand something. If you talk about giving some money to black folks, you can start a war right here in the United States. But I was told just a minute, not long ago, that billions or $1 trillion is being taken from the Treasury to give over to a commission that is actually going to be controlled by our president. Now, he can dream up of all kinds of things to spend money, ballrooms, wars, and whatever else there is. And you can dream up all the dreams that you want. You couldn't find no money for slaves, but you found money for the property owners. and we were supposed to be property. Even the Irish and the Italians and a lot of other people were property until all of a sudden they made them, over Africans, black people. But we don't know about our history. But see, the man that runs the Heritage, the one who actually was the Project 25, what I would call the mastermind, but he's not the mastermind. None of these are all puppets, because we'll never see the real people who run this government. But let's look at the puppets anyhow, okay? He has a PhD in history. So what did he do with his PhD in history and everything else? See, everybody's so focused on keeping black folks down, we never pay attention to what they're stealing or what they're doing, and they're the ones that actually have put a lot of, I would say, defective chips in our brain. Because anytime you hate yourself, you weren't born, you were born perfect, but you were educated defectively. You see, the book about the miseducation of the Negro, most of us haven't read it because we don't like the truth. But neither does the people that you learn from like the truth either. Do you know at one time they had more Africans in America than they did Europeans, and they certainly had more indigenous people. But you see how fast they got rid of them when they wanted something. Now, I have gone on a little bit further than I wanted to go on about the fact that you steal from us, but excessive taxation when you don't even fund roads, schools, courts, defense. Inflation and current debasement. It's when you increase the money supply significantly, but the purchasing power of existing money can decline, so that you feel poor and poor. Corruption. Public officials misuse public funds for personal gain. Citizens lose resources that were intended for public benefit. Asset seizure and eminent domain. Governments sometimes take private property for public use, and usually with shallow compensation. Unequal enforcement of laws. Of course you know that's true, because they'll enforce the law on a black person in a minute, but if you're European, hey buddy, corporate favoritism, we don't have to even worry about that because we don't own nothing. Public debt. Governments borrow money to finance current spendings. Critics argue excessive borrowing financially burdens to future generations. Of course, he won't be here. He's almost 80 years old. Restricting access to wealth building opportunities. That's discrimination and all other things like DEI, taking black folks out of museums, and all kind of lies that you've told about who you were and who they are. A historical perspective believes that this is one of the greatest transfers of wealth in human history, or American history, occurred through slavery and subsequent exclusion of black Americans from economic opportunities, but you ain't seen nothing yet. And our examples of all those discriminatory actions and wealth accumulations, that never hit the black communities, and when they did, Reconstruction era, Colfax Massacre, Tulsa Race Massacre, redlining, all these things happened because we dared to try to move up on the economic ladder. The deeper question is not whether they take from us, but whether it's justified, equally applied. We know it's not. But the deeper question is, why did we let it happen?